for ease of use, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a DHCP scope for each of these 3 VLANs that I just configured. VLAN 2, VLAN 22, VLAN 150. I want to give each of these its own DHCP scope so that when I have wireless clients dynamically assigned to each of these VLANs, that those clients will automatically get its own IP address. It'll just make things a lot easier when I'm testing. So you go down to services here. Once you're in services, you'll see a setting here for DHCP server. You click on DHCP server. What I'm going to do is that you'll see that there's already one DHCP pool here configured, this 192.168.0.0. I know that's for VLAN 1, so instead what I'm going to keep that there, and I'm going to add here another VLAN scope. And just for kicks, I'm going to call this one VLAN 2, right? And I'm going to associate VLAN 2 to this and select associated interface to VLAN 2. And you see it'll pre-populate VLAN 2's IP address kind of subnet range, and I'm going to populate here just some sort of dummy VLAN, default router, right? I don't really have a real default router here, but I'm just going to populate with something so that it looks kind of real. And then for this IP address range for VLAN 2, I'm going to give it an IP address range that starts from 2.2.2.100, and I'm going to make it end at 2.2.2.200, and I'm going to simply apply that. And now you'll see here that a new DHCP pool was created for VLAN 2 in that range. I'm going to repeat this again for VLAN 22, and I'm going to associate this interface with VLAN 22. It'll pre-populate some fields. I'm just going to put in, for kicks, a dummy default router address, and I'm going to insert the range here 22.22.22.100 to 22.22.22.200. And click OK, and you'll see here it created another pool for VLAN 2. And finally, I'm going to create a third pool, this one for VLAN 150. And I'm going to associate this interface here with VLAN 150. It'll pre-populate some fields. I'm going to put in here a default router for this dummy one. And in here, I'm going to put in IP address of 150.150.100, and I'm going to end at 150.150.149, just so that I don't overlap with the IP address already assigned to there. It'll still give me a decent range to work with. So again, you can see here that I've created 3 new DHCP scopes. One for VLAN 2, one for VLAN 22, and one for VLAN 150. And again, for the purpose of this is to create these DHCP servers so that when I associate wireless clients and they land on these particular VLANs, they will automatically get an IP address from this range, thus making it a lot easier to show that these clients are a part of that VLAN.